Muscle Up Monday, we here. This is my beautiful girlfriend, Juliette. She makes this banging, all natural chocolates, almost like Reese's Cups with fruit inside and peanut butter. And man, I asked her to share this recipe with y'all today, because man, you have to try it for yourself. This stuff is banging, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna let Juliette, take over and show you how she makes it. Go ahead, baby.
Alright, so I like to call this my 3-ingredient chocolate, because it's all you need to make the chocolate. You have coconut oil. You'd want to get organic, cold pressed, extra virgin, because when you're going to eat coconut oil raw, you definitely want the best quality and super beneficial, super nutritious. Look up the facts. For coconut oil, you're really going to be amazed. And then cocoa powder. You want to get, again, just 100% pure cocoa powder, nothing else in the ingredients. It should be just cocoa. You don't want anything else in it. And amazing benefits, again, in cocoa powder. And that's really all you need to make the chocolate. But I like to add honey to sweeten it up. I don't want to add any sugar or, anything unnatural. So we're gonna add honey, and again, I'm sure most of us know all of the amazing benefits in honey. And those are the 3 ingredients you need. We are going to make them in like little cups. You can get cupcake molds, and you can pretty much fill the chocolate with whatever you want. Here we have strawberries, we have almonds, we have cranberries. But you don't even have to make it in a mold. You can do like a bark. You can make a peanut butter Reese's. You can do a lot of different things with this chocolate, which I really like. So, yeah. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is measure out the cocoa powder. Alright, you're going to need some measuring cups. We're going to make quite a few. We're going to a Valentine's party. So I'm going to measure out a cup of cocoa powder. And you can measure out however much you want, really. It depends on just what you're making and the quantity. And I'm doing it with a fork. I like to break it up because cocoa powder is very compact. So that just helps break it up and air it out a little bit. And then let's check and see how much we got. Mix it up in there, break it down. I tap it out to make sure it's leveled. And we're gonna get it to 1 cup. Alright, so we measured out 1 cup of cocoa powder, and now we're gonna measure out 1 cup of coconut oil. I'm gonna put it in just a little pot to melt it. And the key is you wanna put the same amount of cocoa powder as you do coconut oil. So just equal amounts. 1 cup, 1 cup. If you wanna make a smaller batch, 1/2 cup and 1/2 cup. The key is just to put equal amounts of both. So I'm gonna scoop it out. You'll notice that coconut oil, it melts at 76 degrees or higher, and then it becomes a solid at around 75 degrees. So right now it's winter and it is a solid. So we're just gonna scoop it out into the pot. A little loud. And I kind of just eyeball it and measure it out when it's melted. So I'm just scooping out as much as I think a cup is right now. Alright, that's about how much I have right now. And if you guys want to follow me to the stove, we're gonna go ahead and melt it. So we're gonna set the stove to the lowest setting, like low, just to make sure it's on. So lowest of the low setting. We want to make sure that we're not cooking the coconut oil. You don't want to cook the coconut oil, we just want to melt it. So you're constantly stirring. Constantly stirring. Alright, and if you notice you might have like some extra coconut oil on your hands, just rub it in. It's an amazing moisturizer and it does amazing stuff for your skin. as you guys can see, it's already starting to melt. It doesn't take much, so we're just gonna stir until it's a complete liquid. As you can see, it's already turning into a liquid, okay, but there's still a few chunks in there, so we're gonna keep on stirring. Alright, once it starts turning clear, you want to turn off the heat, and these little pieces will just melt, and that's when you know it's ready, when it's clear. So we're gonna take it back over here. We're gonna pour it into another measuring cup. You can use this kind of measuring cup, it doesn't matter. Just something that says 1 cup, and we wanna measure out 1 cup. And as you can see, it's nice and clear. And we're not quite at 1 cup, so I'm gonna melt some more. Gonna scoop out a little more. And I had a friend who I told the recipe to, and when she melted the coconut oil, she poured the cocoa powder in here and started to mix it up, but she needed a little bit more coconut oil. So you don't want to mix the cocoa and the coconut oil in the pot that you melted it in, just in case you need to melt a little bit more. And you don't want to cook the cocoa powder either. You want it all pure and raw. Alright, so going for 1 cup here. Hopefully we have enough. Yep, I think that's good enough. It doesn't have to be super, super exact, but as long as it's close enough, you're good. Alright, so we had the coconut oil measured out. We didn't cook it, just melted it until it's clear. And now we're just gonna pour it straight into the cocoa powder. And already like makes this beautiful color. Pour it straight in, and then I'm gonna take a spoon just to mix it up a little bit, and we're gonna mix it until it looks like chocolate syrup. Now this is a chocolate lover's dream. If you're a chocolate lover, you're gonna love this. It's pure, rich chocolate. So as you can see, it's already looking like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Lake, if you guys know that movie. So at this point, I like to switch it over to a whisk, or you can switch over to a fork, just something that's a little bit more airy that can break up the chunks. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Alright, so now that we've stirred in the cocoa powder and the coconut oil, we're gonna measure out 1/4 cup of honey. Just your favorite local honey. Really, there's no exact measurement. It all depends on your level of sweetness that you want. I like it a little sweet. We use 1 cup. So I like to do 1/4 of whatever amount that I use for the coconut oil and cocoa powder. So I use 1 cup, so 1/4 of that is 1/4 cup. So that's what we're gonna measure out. Now it might have been better if I unscrewed the top, but we're almost there. So we're gonna pour it right in and stir, stir, stir. Make sure you get every drop of honey out. We don't let anything go to waste here. off your fingers. It's amazing for you. And we're gonna stir it up. And now we can pour into your molds. We're gonna use this mold today. I'm gonna spray it with some non-stick spray and pour some chocolate in, and you guys are gonna get to see. Alright, so I'm gonna spray it with some non-stick spray. If you can get coconut oil non-stick spray, that's best. I'm out of that, so I'm gonna use what I have. And just spray. If you were using the cupcake little papers, you don't need to do this. And I'm not sure if you even really need to do this because we have coconut oil, and that's an oil, but just to be safe, I like to spray it anyway. So I like to constantly stir it before I pour, every time before I pour, because honey tends to fall. It's heavier than the coconut oil, so it tends to fall to the bottom. So just make sure you stir it up before you pour it. Now I'm gonna fill just the bottoms up a little bit first so they can harden. Just because when we add fruit, we don't want it to fall to the bottom. We want it to have a nice chocolatey bottom. Oops, I put a little too much there. That's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. And again, this coconut oil gets solid at 75 degrees, so it doesn't take much for it to become a solid. Literally all it takes is like a minute in the freezer to harden the bottom layer that we put in. Then I take it out, I put the fruit in or whatever it is you want to fill it with, and I put it in for 5 minutes after that, and it's done. It's honestly ready instantly. Perfect last minute party idea. Alright, so we're gonna put it in the freezer for just a minute. We're gonna get it in a minute and fill it with whatever we want. Okay, so one of my fillings is gonna be strawberries. So I'm just cutting some strawberries up. Obviously, wash them before you cut them up. Alright, so you just took them out the freezer, and now we're gonna fill them with whatever we want. Now I'm still testing out combos that I like with the chocolate, but I mean, what isn't good with chocolate? I think everything is good with chocolate. But we're gonna test out some cranberries. I've done pineapple, I've done blueberries, I've done peanut butter. And the cool thing is, I mean, these are pretty healthy. Except for these cranberries, I mean, they are a little bit sugar, but if you stick with whole fruit, they're pretty healthy. Gonna throw maybe some almonds in there. Alright, so we're gonna fill the rest up with chocolate just to cover it. And again, you wanna mix this up because the honey tends to pop. So give that a mix. And we're gonna pour it in. To the last drop. And then I like to just shake it out. loaded with antioxidants, coconut oil, and honey. Let's try it.
Whatever she said. Woo. I don't know until you try. I'm telling you.
So good, guys. We have like 2 or 3 a day.
I tell her to keep it stocked in the house. That's how good it is.
So good, guys.
Woo.
And yeah, for my chocolate lovers, this is for you. If you have a sweet tooth, or you're trying to live that healthier lifestyle, try these out.
All right, MuscleUp Monday, we out.